What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Carter's ready to get married now. Carter's determination to hold on to hope no matter what is hinted at in the Bold and the Beautiful. Carter's big move. After thinking she was going to lose Liam Spencer, Carter Walton is getting a little nervous that Hope Logan might decide Liam Spencer is the better choice. Carter has been irritated by the fact that she has been spending so much time with Liam lately. He's tried to be understanding, but they now know that Liam is going to live, so there's no reason to wait. When Carter suggests that they elope and get married right away, Hope is surprised. When their love for one another is still so strong, why wait? Hope has been wearing his ring for months, so it's time to get this show on the road. What are they anticipating? Carter is a man who feels an overwhelming need to be a husband, but still never manages to have a successful wedding. How will Hope act? Hope is somewhat surprised when Carter suggests that they marry now. She is not quite sure what to say. She thought she had time to plan a wedding, but Carter is moving so quickly right now. Of course, Hope can't forget about Liam's declaration of love. He wants to get back together and doesn't care that she is engaged to Carter. Even Deacon Sharp longs for Hope to see Liam once more. He doesn't even like Carter, especially after their brief duel in the design office over martial arts a few months ago. Deacon knows that Liam has hurt Hope in the past, but doesn't expect that it will happen again. Liam won't look at Steffi Forrester Finnegan because she's already taken. Hope must make a significant choice, but she is not prepared to do so. Is it true that Hope's family with Liam will always come first, as stated by Daphne Rose? Does Daphne also know that someone else will also come before Carter and maybe even Liam? Carter's wedding is postponed by Hope Logan. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, Carter Walton will experience heartbreak on the CBS soap. Hope Logan is supposed to be picking out a wedding dress and tasting cakes, but she seems to have put her engagement on the back burner. Is it possible that she will postpone her wedding to Carter? Find out by reading on. The following is a list of upcoming Bold and the Beautiful episodes. Hope is important to Liam. Hope Logan has been spending so much time with her ex-husband Liam Spencer on the Bold and the Beautiful, a lot fans have forgotten that she's supposed to be engaged to Carter Walton. Is Hope thinking about reuniting her family now that we know Liam won't die and will remain here for many years to come? Before he was diagnosed with a deadly brain tumor, Liam was trying to prove to Hope Logan that he had changed his ways and even put together a grand gesture to show her that he took her career seriously. Lope, on the other hand, was put on hold when Liam learned that he was dying. When Liam Spencer was only going to be around for a few more months, why did he break up a happy family? Carter Walton ought to be extremely concerned now that Liam has a brand new lease on life, literally. Additionally, a reuniting with Steffi is currently out of the question due to the fact that Jacqueline McInnes would had to leave Bold and the Beautiful due to maternity leave. Carter dumps Hope. All indications point to a Lope reunion on the CBS soap right now. Hope Logan will have to let Carter down easily because of this. Daphne Rose will be eager to lend Carter a shoulder to cry on, which is good news for her. Carter's unwavering resolve to keep Hope Logan by his side at any cost was starting to shape his every action, and in the fast-paced, intricately woven narrative of the Bold and the Beautiful, this signified that drama was simmering just beneath the surface with each scene, every interaction, and every choice he urged her to make. For Carter Walton, a man who had consistently conducted himself with honor, self-discipline, and fidelity to both family and friends, the pain of repeated heartbreaks had ignited a yearning within him that was no longer willing to wait, no longer willing to assume the role of the patient gentleman who stood by while the woman he cherished was courted by other admirers, particularly with the looming threat of Liam Spencer hanging over him like a persistent storm cloud. And thus when Carter suggested the notion of bypassing the lengthy rituals of planning and hastening directly into an elopement, he felt he was finally taking charge of his fate instead of allowing destiny, competitors, and unfortunate timing to deprive him once more. Yet Hope Logan, remaining true to her character, was not easily cornered even when Carter presented it as the rational next step, considering she had already accepted his ring and vowed to share her life with him. Her reluctance stemmed from a heart's perpetual struggle, for no matter how many times she had declared that Liam's betrayals, Liam's indecision despite Liam's incessant ramblings being a thing of the past. The reality was that his recent expressions of love had stirred something profound within her, something she believed she had buried when she placed Carter's engagement ring on her finger. These emotions left her ensnared in a tumultuous limbo, where the prospect of marrying Carter seemed like a secure and organized solution, yet simultaneously felt like a rejection of her deepest desires. Meanwhile, Carter was clearly annoyed by Liam's persistent presence around Hope, akin to a hawk waiting for the opportune moment. He feigned respect for her engagement while subtly sowing seeds of doubt with remarks about family, about Beth needing her parents to be together, and about a bond that Carter could never replicate. Although Carter endeavored to remain composed, the reality was that Liam's recovery from his health scare had completely altered the situation. As long as Liam was alive, Carter feared that Hope's heart would never be entirely his. Consequently, Carter became a man in haste, eager to finalize their union before the past could intrude upon the present once more. Yet, as Hope sat across from him, her eyes wide with astonishment at his suggestion of elopement, she could not conceal her surprise. Her voice trembled as she inquired why now, why the urgency, and whether they did not deserve to celebrate properly with their families, their children, and their loved ones gathered around. However, Carter's response was steeped in a sense of urgency disguised as practicality. Why postpone when their love was robust? Why defer happiness in the face of life's uncertainties? Had she not worn his ring long enough without taking action? Had they not suffered enough from Liam's meddling? Was it not time to finally embrace a marriage free from interruptions yet? As Hope listened, her thoughts betrayed her, for the image that crossed her mind was not Carter awaiting her at the altar, but rather Liam's face when he professed his enduring love for her. Liam's words resonated with the desire to reunite their family, emphasizing that this time would be different, that his wandering gaze had come to an end, and that Steffi was no longer a temptation. These declarations held significance not only due to Liam's persuasive nature but also because Beth was real. She was their daughter, a bond of shared blood, a reminder that Carter could never truly assume that role, regardless of his efforts. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp, who was always protective of Hope in his own imperfect manner, had already begun to express his disapproval of Carter, asserting that his daughter would find greater happiness with Liam, despite the complications. He even ridiculed Carter for their ridiculous martial arts altercation in the design office, a clash intended for comic relief but which left Deacon perceiving Carter as merely a distraction from the genuine love story between Liam and Hope. Although Deacon seldom concealed his contempt, he also spoke from a father's instinct, cautioning Hope against hastily entering into marriage simply due to Carter's insecurities. He warned that a wedding founded on fear would crumble more swiftly than one rooted in love. Hope, though reluctant to acknowledge it, felt the sting of truth in her father's counsel. Nevertheless, Carter intensified his pursuit, his urgency growing as he sensed a reluctance, his mind whispering that if he did not secure this marriage now, he could potentially become yet another statistic in the series of failed engagements, a man from whom Hope turned away when Liam arrived with his innocent promises. However, Hope, despite her empathy, started to question whether Carter's desire to marry stemmed from genuine love or was merely an attempt to validate his ability to lead someone to the altar after previous disappointments with Quinn, Zoe, Paris, and other heartbreaks that left him alone in tuxedos that faded from memory. Was she merely his opportunity for redemption, or was she genuinely the woman he envisioned building a future with? Meanwhile, rumors circulated within Forrester Creations as Ivy Forrester, hidden behind her own emotions, pondered whether Carter's rush could actually provide her with a chance to reconnect with Liam. She understood that if Hope succumbed to Carter's advances, Liam would likely feel devastated and vulnerable, making him susceptible to a rebound. Ivy had always envisioned herself as the one capable of offering him the comfort that Hope had failed to provide. Yet, none of this could erase the complicated reality that Hope was herself becoming unmoored, unable to make a definitive choice because each option bore its own repercussions. Carter's stability against Liam's past, Carter's urgency against Liam's steadfastness. With each passing day that she hesitated, Carter's anxiety intensified until it reached a critical point where even his closest friends began to question whether he was on the verge of another ill-fated engagement. Nevertheless, Carter remained deaf to warnings, ignoring advice from Ridge, Katie, and anyone else who reminded him that haste had never yielded positive results in the past. He was resolute in his determination to prove them wrong this time. To demonstrate to the world that he could be more than just the man abandoned at the altar. The irony lay in the fact that his very resolve might drive Hope further away. Although she loved Carter in her own way, she could not dismiss the persistent thought that marrying him so quickly might merely serve to silence her doubts instead of honoring her true feelings. In a manner reminiscent of soap operas, the writers hinted at the possibility that Carter's insistence could backfire dramatically, leaving him heartbroken when Hope ultimately decided to postpone the wedding to contemplate her future. This decision would not only devastate Carter but also excite Liam, who would interpret it as proof that their connection was unbreakable. Meanwhile, Daphne Rose, Carter's friend and quiet admirer, would be ready to provide comfort, a shoulder to lean on, and perhaps something more, thereby initiating yet another series of complicated entanglements that only the bold and the beautiful could craft with such intricate artistry. Ultimately, Carter's urgent plea for marriage was not solely about uniting in matrimony. It was about confronting his past, refusing to remain a perpetual second choice, and striving to reshape his own fate before destiny and love triangles could dictate it for him. As long as Hope remained indecisive, as long as Liam continued to whisper promises, and as long as Deacon pursued his own agenda, the chances of Carter's heart breaking once more only increased, foreshadowing the kind of heart-wrenching aftermath that fans of the CBS soap had come to anticipate week after week, year after year, in the unending cycle of love, loss, and yearning.